Every morning, before the kingdom awakened, the princess stood before her mirrors. Not one mirror. Hundreds. Tall silver mirrors from distant mountains. Tiny hand mirrors carved from crystal shells. Golden mirrors polished so brightly they caught even the smallest sparkle of candlelight. And in every one of them, the princess searched for the same thing. Herself. She admired the softness of her golden hair as servants braided pearls through it. She studied the brightness of her blue eyes. She smiled only when the mirror smiled back. The people of the kingdom whispered that she was the most beautiful princess the world had ever seen. And slowly, she began believing beauty was the same thing as worth. The castle became filled with flowers, silk gowns, jewels, and endless compliments. But while the princess loved being admired, she rarely noticed the people offering the admiration. Not the gardener whose hands froze in winter. Not the baker who bowed with tired eyes. Not even the lonely old woman who cleaned the palace mirrors every evening after everyone slept. The princess simply passed them by like reflections in glass. Then one cold autumn morning, everything changed. Sunlight poured through the palace windows as servants prepared the princess for the grand harvest festival. Musicians tuned their instruments below the balcony. Children filled the streets with laughter. The princess stepped before her largest mirror and smiled proudly. But the mirror did not smile back. Her reflection was gone. The princess froze. The room behind her appeared perfectly clear in the glass. The curtains, the candles, the servants, everything except her. A frightened gasp escaped her lips. She rushed to another mirror. Nothing, another. Nothing. Every mirror in the palace showed an empty world where the princess should have been. Panic spread through the castle like wildfire. Doctors arrived carrying strange medicines. Wizards whispered ancient spells over silver bowls. Craftsmen polished every mirror until their arms ached. But nothing changed. The princess had vanished from every reflection in the kingdom. At first, she refused to leave her chambers. Without her reflection, she felt invisible. Broken. As days passed, fear slowly turned into anger. She accused servants of stealing magic from the palace. She blamed travelers from distant lands. She even ordered every mirror in the kingdom covered with cloth. But late one evening, while rain tapped softly against the windows, the old woman who cleaned the mirrors approached her quietly. The woman carried no jewels. No riches. Only a tiny lantern glowing gently in her wrinkled hands. "There are some things mirrors cannot show," the old woman whispered. The princess turned away bitterly. "You would not understand." But the old woman only smiled sadly. "Perhaps it is time you understand yourself." Then she handed the princess a faded map. Beyond the kingdom, deep within forgotten forests and hidden valleys, a silver mark had been drawn near the edge of the world. "The answer waits there," the woman said softly. Before sunrise the next morning, the princess secretly left the castle alone. For the first time in her life, nobody bowed as she walked through the city gates. Nobody even recognized her. Without her reflection, she no longer felt like a princess at all. The journey quickly became harder than she imagined. Cold winds swept through endless forests. Her silk shoes tore on rocky roads. Rain ruined her expensive gowns, and when hungry travelers gathered beside campfires, they offered her no special treatment. At first, the princess hated every moment. She complained about the cold, the dirt, the silence. But the farther she traveled, the more the world ignored her beauty entirely. People cared only whether she was kind. One evening, she arrived at a tiny village beside a frozen river. Snow had begun falling early, and the villagers struggled to repair a broken bridge before winter trapped them completely. The princess asked for food and shelter. But the villagers were exhausted. Nobody rushed to help her. Then she noticed a young boy trying desperately to carry heavy wooden planks alone through the snow. For a moment, she almost walked away. Then something unexpected stirred inside her. Slowly, awkwardly, she helped him lift the wood. Hours passed. The princess worked beside villagers until her hands blistered red from the cold. When the bridge was finally repaired, the villagers gathered around warm fires and shared bread with her. Not because she was beautiful. Not because she was royal. But because she had helped. That night, something strange happened. As she drank water from the river, she caught the faintest glimpse of herself trembling on the surface before it vanished again. The princess stared silently into the ripples. It was the first sign of her reflection returning. Hope awakened inside her. She continued her journey with new determination. In the weeks that followed, the princess crossed glowing forests where fireflies floated like stars between ancient trees. She traveled through valleys where giant flowers closed gently at sunset. She climbed snowy mountains beneath skies painted silver by moonlight. And everywhere she went, she encountered people in need. A frightened child lost in the woods. An injured bird with a broken wing. An old storyteller too weak to pull his cart uphill. Each time, the princess found herself stopping to help. At first, she did so hoping her reflection would return. But slowly, she stopped thinking about mirrors altogether. Instead, she began noticing things she had ignored her entire life. The beauty of laughter round a fire. The warmth of holding someone's trembling hand. The joy hidden inside simple acts of kindness. And little by little, her heart softened. One snowy evening, the princess arrived at a forgotten valley hidden beneath towering cliffs. In the center stood a silent lake smooth as glass. Silver mist drifted across the water. And there, waiting at the shore, stood a mysterious figure cloaked in flowing pale robes. The spirit, its face shimmered like moonlight reflected on water, never fully clear. The princess stepped forward carefully. "You took my reflection," she whispered. The spirit nodded gently. "Yes." Anger flickered briefly across the princess's face. "Why?" The spirit traced one glowing hand toward the silent lake. The water began to move. Images appeared across its surface. The princess saw herself inside the palace, admiring mirrors while lonely servants stood unnoticed behind her. She saw the gardener shivering in winter while she demanded more flowers for decoration. She saw the old woman cleaning mirrors alone in darkness. Tears slowly filled the princess's eyes. "My heart," she whispered. It was becoming cold, the spirit said softly. "Soon you would have seen beauty everywhere except within people." The princess lowered her head in shame. The spirit stepped closer. "So your reflection was hidden until you could learn to see differently." The princess looked into the lake again. This time she did not search for her face. She saw the boy beside the bridge smiling gratefully. The lost child laughing in her arms. The injured bird flying once more, and for the first time. Those memories felt more precious than any mirror in the palace. The spirit lifted its hand toward the water. "Look again." Slowly, the princess gazed into the lake. And there she was. Her reflection had returned. But something was different. The face staring back no longer seemed important. The princess smiled softly. Then looked away from the water entirely. "I understand now," she whispered. The spirit's glowing form began dissolving gently into silver light. The reflection was never the gift, the spirit said. The heart behind it was. Snowflakes drifted quietly through the valley as the spirit vanished into the night. The princess remained beside the lake for a long moment beneath the stars. Then she began the journey home. But when she returned to the kingdom, the people noticed something far greater than the return of her reflection. The princess herself had changed. She no longer filled the palace with endless mirrors. Instead, the castle doors opened wider than ever before. The gardeners received warm cloaks for winter. The bakers were invited to feast beside nobles during festivals. Children filled the palace halls with laughter. And every evening, the princess visited the old woman who once cleaned the mirrors alone. Together, they lit lanterns across the castle windows until the kingdom glowed warmly beneath the night sky. Years later, travelers would still speak of the princess whose beauty became legendary. But not because of her face. They remembered the kindness in her eyes. The gentleness in her voice. The warmth she brought wherever she walked. And hidden deep inside the palace, covered quietly beneath a silk cloth, remained the very first mirror where her reflection disappeared. The princess rarely looked into it anymore. Because she had finally discovered something far more important than seeing herself. She had learned how to truly see others.